Welcome into Huff Hall. It's Big Ten Women's Gymnastics. It's the Illinois Fighting Illini taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Joey Gilman alongside Jacqueline Wiest. And today in this one for Illinois, the gymnast you want to look out for is Gianna O'Connor.
Yes, the senior here is a key all-around contributor and off to a really strong start this season. She's already captured 9 event titles so far.
And for Iowa, you're going to want to look at Molly Drenth. Really has had a great season so far. So, Jacqueline, what can you tell us about her?
Another very strong all-around competitor coming off of a really big week against Nebraska, where she garnered her 3rd consecutive all-around title.
So for more on this one, we're going to throw it to the sideline. Cassie Carlson has more.
Thanks, guys. We're celebrating the Think Pink meet here today in Champaign to honor cancer survivors. This all originated with Georgia gymnast Talia Vexler. She was diagnosed with cancer her senior year competing. Before, she was a 3-time All-American NCAA gymnast, and she just wanted to send the message for people to get checked for cancer, because without that, she wouldn't be with us today, and she just wanted to stress that. We look forward to a great competition against Iowa and Illinois here in Champaign tonight. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cassie. Well, coming up next, Illinois will be on vault, Iowa on bars. It's Big Ten Women's Gymnastics on the Big Ten Network. Welcome back into Huff Hall. Joey going alongside Jacqueline Wiest. As we mentioned in the open, it's the Illini taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. As we look at the Illinois lineup here, starting at vault, Jordan Givens, Heather Foley, Lizzie LeDuc, Erin Buchanan, Gianna O'Connor, and Julia Hutcherson. We'll go in Olympic order today, so it will go vault, bars, beam, and floor exercise here in Champaign for this one. Should be a fun one as we're getting down to the last minute or so in the 4-minute touch period before this matchup here in the Think Pink meet. We'll get you Iowa's lineup in just a little bit here. They will begin on bars as Illinois starts this one off on the vault just to our right here.
Then for Iowa, starting on bars, we have Lainey Snyder, Lexi Murrah, Melissa Zarowski, Molly Drenth, Angel Metcalf, and Joanie Satillo.
So then, if you're Illinois, that'll be the first one we'll see on vault. Being a former gymnast yourself, what is the key to getting off the vault early?
Well, I mean, Illinois is at home, kind of have the home field advantage here. I think it's a good event to start off with high energy. It moves very quickly, ready to kind of set the bar high.
So again, vault will be first. It will be Jordan Givens for Illinois, starting things off, just getting the buzzer here for the 4-minute touch period to be over, so we should be bringing you gymnastics in just a minute or two here as the two teams get set here to square off. Looking at the matchups here, last time out, Iowa enters the weekend ranked number 28 nationally in the country, a 195.129 scoring average. They earned a season-high score in their upset win over number 14 Nebraska, 196.650. So a tougher team here, but Illinois obviously ranked as well, number 20, as we get set here for the vault. Jordan Givens to lead things. There's
Starting
the first.
us off, sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Just starting us off with a layout. Ideally, we're going to see 10-0 start value vaults. You know, the Yurchenko full this season was devalued and now starting at a 995. So it won't be as high of a score there.
We look at bars now. Lainey Snyder here for Iowa.
Good first release there. A double tuck dismount with a stuck landing.
Great start there for Iowa. Whole team mobbing her on that one. A good first competitor there for Iowa. Heather Foley checks in here for Illinois.
Heather, you're going to be competing at Yurchenko layout full. Again, that 995 start value. she's been a very consistent vaulter this season and always putting up a reliable score. Almost stuck there. I don't know if they'll give that to her or not. Little shuffle of her feet when she was saluting, but very good vault for Heather.
So talk about the change in that one, in the idea you mentioned Chancro full being devalued. Is that really a big factor here for these vaulters?
Well, I think when you look at gymnastics and how it's scored, and it really comes down to every little tenth, those half tenths here and there can really add up to something big. So it's definitely something that could play a big role. We do see still a lot of your Chancro fulls. Some of the schools have put in a lot more 1.5s. I think they really kind of did that to get more variation, maybe. It was one of the vaults that pretty much everyone across the board was doing.
Or was it just getting too much of a rhythm, too simple out there for the vaulters, that maybe the judges wanted to have a little more say in what goes on, but not be able to maybe rely so much just on the Chancro full being something there that they can always just mark up?
Yeah, I think the way gymnastics is moving and the skills are progressing and routines becoming more difficult, vault and that your Chancro layout full was one of those things that kind of had remained consistent across the board. So looking to kick it up a notch.
Lexi Mera there for Iowa, finishes her bars routine. We'll jump back to the vault. Lizzie LeDuc checks in here for the Illini.
Lizzie LeDuc.
Another nice vault for the Illini. Very clean on the landings.
And what's the secret for those landings? I mean, is it the idea of making sure both legs together and really sticking that dismount?
Yeah, I think when you're coming out of your vault, you're going to want to stay tight and kind of spot the ground and really absorb the landing.
Melissa Zarowski here for Iowa on the bars. Zarowski's high on the uneven bars, 9.875 on January 23rd this season. She looks to continue her success here. We'll get you scores when we can. A couple of them still not posted yet, so we will make sure to get that for you guys.
Didn't quite get that Ginger there, so she now has 30 seconds to kind of center herself and chalk up before she gets back on the bars.
And I'm guessing you just have to have a quick memory in this sport with that kind of way of how it goes.
I think you just go on autopilot and you're so focused in on what you're doing that it's just kind of second nature. You know, you got to do what you do and then get back up and finish strong.
Snyder a 9.80 on her bars, given 9.575, Foley 9.725 there for their vaults.
A little short on the bail to handstand. Another little short handstand there, but winding up for a strong finish and a stuck landing. Anytime you fall or make mistakes, you want to finish as strong as possible and not give away any other tenths.
Buchanan up here for Illinois on the vault. Next up for her.
Very nice vault. Couldn't quite tell if she stuck it. I think there might have been a little shuffle there, but that should be a big score.
Buchanan all-arounder for this Illini team. 9.725 last time out for her against Minnesota. Highest one of the year, 9.825. Got her first at Rutgers. But again, scoring lower for that vault with the devaluing of the Chancro full there. So maybe the numbers look a little smaller to the normal gymnastics viewer, but still able to put up big numbers is Buchanan.
And junior Molly Drenth getting ready to mount the bars here.
And she's been the big story coming into this one, and we talked about it in the Open, just how pretty spectacular she's been for this Iowa team all year. So we'll see if she continues that here on the uneven bars.
Nice piked Jaeger to immediate shoot over. Good handstand, even kind of held it a bit. Winding up for a dismount. Nice double layout. Big hop there that could be anywhere between 1 and 3/10, kind of depending on how giving the judges are, but that should still be a big score. It was a clean routine.
Gianna O'Connor.
Gianna O'Connor up next for Illinois.
Gianna is really a staple competitor in the lineup for Illinois, and kind of seeing her mature since her freshman year, she's really grown and really gained a lot of confidence.
9.825, her highest this year, also against Rutgers on the vault. Angel Metcalf checks in here. North Carolina native on this Iowa Hawkeye team. Up next year on the uneven parallel bars.
Angel Metcalf.
(9.8) for Molly Drenth on that last bar routine. Another piked Jaeger. A little short on her handstand to shoot over. Hop on the landing, but a very nice double layout dismount.
Now up on ball for Illinois, Julia Hutcherson.
Julia Hutcherson here for Illinois.
Also just going to be doing a layout here. Won't be as big of a score. But she made it as clean as she could, so good vault for Julia.
Overall, pretty good starts here for both of these teams, trying to get their fundamentals down early on in this matchup. And you mentioned it before here that, at least for Illinois, it's all about the fundamentals with this team. And Kim Land just really likes to, keep it simple and make sure, at least in the vault, they're able to really pinpoint those little details that, could cost you down the stretch.
She does. I think she kind of has the philosophy of being very clean and consistent. And so she's looking to eliminate any possible deductions.
Johanny Sotillo here for Iowa.
Another piked Jaeger to shoot over. The Hawkeyes like that skill. They do it well. Nice double front dismount. That one's a little more challenging because they have the blind landing there, but I think they'll give her a stick.
Next up on ball for Illinois, Sarah Lyons.
Sarah Lyons here for Illinois on the vault.
She'll be exhibitioning here, first time out on vault this year.
Angel Metcalf on that last bar is 9.750 for Iowa. Molly Drenth at 9.80, as we mentioned. Jenna O'Connor, 9.750 for the vault on that one. So a pretty good start for both of these teams as we are going to head to our first break. First rotation is done. Second one coming up. Iowa will switch to vault. Illinois to bars. You're watching Big Ten Women's Gymnastics on Big Ten Network's Student U. Welcome back into Huff Hall. Joey Gilman alongside Jacqueline Wiest. We're here. It's the Illini taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. We looked at the vault results here. Givens 9.725, Heather Foley 9.575, Leduc 9.750, Buchanan 9.775, O'Connor 9.750, Hutcherson 9.625. So a pretty good round for them there. We'll analyze it once we get those Iowa ones back up there too. But again, the scoring lower due to that little bit of devaluation.
And I'm thinking maybe the scores for Jordan Givens and Heather Foley might have been flip-flopped there. But
we'll switch gears here. Iowa takes over on the vault.
you know, vault happens so quickly that it's almost difficult to catch all of the little deductions that the judges are looking for in addition to the landing, which might be the most obvious to spectators. Judges always looking at kind of the height and distance from the table and even the angles when entering the table.
Here are those results for Iowa that we showed you the graphic for before. Molly Drenth, 9.80. Angel Metcalf, 9.775. Lexi Mara, 9.850. Sotillo, 9.9. Snyder, 9.8. And then in the exhibition there at 9.20. So overall for Iowa, little higher on that number there on the bars, for them starting off here as we check back in with all of this action in Huff Hall. And it's been a good start for both of these teams. And you mentioned you thought those scores may be a little flipped in the beginning, but assessing here, do you think both of these teams got off to a good start?
I think they did. Illinois has been pretty consistent with what we've been seeing so far from them on vault. And definitely Iowa breaking that 49 there on bars. Definitely good start.
You see a couple of the replays here for Iowa on bars.
She has a very clean set that she put up there.
And it looks like our winner is Meredith. Congratulations.
Again, getting set here for that second rotation. 48.625 for Illinois in the first rotation there. That's their overall score. 49.125 for that one. As we looked at that graphic here, as I try to turn around and spin around reading scoreboards, and it was on our own screen. Starting off for vault for Illinois, for Iowa, Misty Jade Carlson will be there for them, followed by Molly Drenth, Allie Glover, Angel Metcalf, Maria Ortiz, and Rose Pierkowski. Nikki Ude will be the exhibition. Illinois, as we showed you before, Sarah Lyons, Bridget Hoden, Lizzie Leduc, Gianna O'Connor, Sunny Cato, Erin Buchanan, and Jordan Givens. Again, here at Huff Hall, it is the Think Pink meet, as you notice. A bunch of the staff, ourselves, the teams all in pink, as you see it in a replay here.
It's nice to be able to go out and support breast cancer awareness as well. I know this meet really hits close to home for a lot of the girls.
Thank you all for being here today.
Fans asked to stand here in recognition of their battles with breast cancer. Survivors are just honored here in Huff Hall, and just a really nice way to make sure that awareness of this fight against breast cancer really can impact a lot of people here, and it's nice to really see Illinois and Iowa take that on. Iowa vault is the next one here. As I mentioned, Carlson will lead things off for Iowa as they get ready here to start the second rotation. Metcalf, Drenth, Glover, Piorski, and Ortiz round things out for Iowa. Again, Olympic order here for gymnastics. So we start out with the vault, then go to the uneven parallel bars. We flip them here as Iowa now goes to the vault. Illinois now to the bars. The touch period is over here in Huff Hall as we get set to resume play here on the Big Ten Network.
Let's go, Sarah!
Carlson on vault, a 9.775. Got that one January 31st. So for her, that's her season best. Trying to improve on that as we get going here. See what she can do here. The Portland, Oregon native to kick things off for the second rotation.
Little pike down on the landing and a hop forward. Could be anywhere between 2 or 3 tenths, I would think.
Sarah Lyons.
Sarah Lyons checks in here on the uneven parallel bars.
Only event she'll be competing today, but very consistent competitor in bars, which consistency is one of the things that Illinois has been lacking on this event. So, you know, they're here at Huff. They have the backing of the home crowd, looking to put up some big scores, find their rhythm. Just a little shuffle on the landing and an overall good routine from Sarah.
How do you make sure you get that consistency? Is it just muscle memory, just doing it, or is there a specific technique that Illinois maybe keeps botching when they get up there?
You know, it could be a lot of different contributing factors. Each year there's a different team, different girls, and sometimes, you know, I guess we talked about that rhythm takes a little longer to find it. Good vault from Angel. Kind of hard to see from the back if there is any pike down in the landing, but just a small hop.
Jumping back here to the uneven parallel bars for Illinois.
Uneven bars for Illinois. Bridget Hodan.
Bridget Hodan checks in here as tries to give a little more consistency to this Illinois team, as we talked about. Just getting off of the uneven parallel bars on a good note is what this team needs to do. Got a decent start here from her so far.
Her chest was down and a hop forward on the landing, but other than that was very clean. She's very tall, so she has nice long lines.
Next up for Iowa on vault, Molly Dren.
Molly Dren checks in here. They switch a little bit of the order here. We just saw Angel Metcalf on the vault. Now we go to Molly Drentz here for Iowa. Little lineup change there. Sorry we didn't have that figured out for you beforehand as she takes her first steps here.
As a laid out half Yurchenko, also going to be the 995 start value like the full. Her team liked that one.
Sarah Lyons tied her season high score on uneven bars with a score of 9.80.
And when you look at these two teams, is it that Chenko full that's common in both, or does it really depend on the team?
I think it's kind of a common vault across a lot of teams. So you'll see some from Iowa as well.
Leduc checks in here for Illinois.
The only freshman competing all around.
And that's always a big task for a freshman. You know, they're always trying to get their feet under them, and to be called to do that as an all-arounder is really an impressive feat for her as she tries to make her mark early, at least in her Illinois career.
Absolutely. It's it's a very big adjustment coming into college gymnastics. You know, you go from having 1 or 2 meets a month to a meet every single weekend for,
Right.
what is it, 12 to 14 weeks straight. It's a big, big adjustment. She seems to be handling the pressure well.
Lizzie LeDuc still getting set here as the team's starting to cheer her on, and that's always, I think, at least one of the best parts of gymnastics is the team interaction throughout the whole meet, even though, and you can attest to this too, it
It is,
seems like it's individual, but it's a whole team atmosphere.
It sure is. You know, college gymnastics is a lot different than club. You're here, you're putting your team first, and you have the backing of the 13, 14, 15 other girls, and have their support there. It's a whole different atmosphere. Lizzie Barutine off to a good start. Stuck landing.
That's an Illinois stuck dismount.
Big stuck dismount there for her as we get some scores back for you. Sarah Lyons, 9.80 on the bars. Bridget Hoden, 9.550 for her in her last effort there on the uneven parallel bars. For Iowa on the vault, Missy Jade Carlson, 9.70. Metcalf, 9.750. 9.8 for Molly Drenth.
Very nice vault. Team celebrating here. That'll be a big score.
Laney Snyder there on that one with a great finish for her on vault. Gianna O'Connor comes up next here for Illinois, as we mentioned in the open. Drenth and O'Connor, really two key gymnasts here to watch as we move along, really have solidified themselves as key contributors to both of these teams and really etching their mark in both Iowa and Illinois' respective record books.
Gianna has huge gymnastics here. Her release moves, just insane amount of amplitude on her Tkachev. Winding up for a double layout dismount. Just a small hop forward. Love her routine.
And that won't cost you that much, will it?
No, small hop will probably be maybe half a 10.
Yeah, but she always puts on a fun routine, that's for sure.
She does.
Piorkowski up next here for the Iowa Hawkeyes. She's going to take her chance here at the vault.
Another laid out half.
Lizzie LeDuc's score on vault of 9.825 is a new career high.
Lizzie LeDuc, 9.825, new career high for her at Illinois. Good to see her get off to that start here. Sunny Cato is next here for Illinois, another household name when you talk to gymnastics fans here in Champaign. They have a whole host to choose from, but you always hear from Sunny Cato.
She's a bars and beam specialist.
Sunny Cato.
Good fight there. You'll see her showcasing some of her flexibility with that Higgins, actually in an inverted grip. Back salto. Another layout dismount. And she did touch her knee, which if your knee goes down, that's supposed to count as a fall. So that would be a 5/10 deduction. We'll see what the judges give it.
Next up on vault for Iowa, Maria Ortiz.
Maria Ortiz here for Iowa, but yeah, for that one for Cato, a tough end to such a good routine there, showcasing what you had mentioned, the flexibility and ability to really prove herself on the uneven parallel bars, the specialist in that category for sure.
Another clean landing for the Hawkeyes.
As we run through those vault scores for you for the Hawkeyes, 9.7 for Missy Jade Carlson, 9.750 for Metcalf, Molly Drenth, 9.8. Ellie Glover, 9.825, and Rose Pierkowski, 9.875. Illinois bars again, Hoden 9.550, Lizzie Leduc 9.825, Lyons 9.80, Gianna O'Connor 9.825. We get set here, Erin Buchanan up next for Illinois. Buchanan on bars last time out, 9.750 against Minnesota. Let's do the replay here of the Hawkeyes in the vault. Nice landing there for her as Buchanan gets set here.
Nice pack salto. Working her way up to the high bar.
Cato 9.520, her score there. That knee really cost her.
Nice stuck landing. Nice handshake there between Erin and Jake.
Great dismount there by her as we get to the couple of last few gymnasts here for Iowa. Nikki Yowd checks in here as the exhibition again for them on the vault. Again, 6 gymnasts will compete. The top 5 scores will count in each apparatus. As Yao checks in here on her vault.
It was a good fight. Saw her struggle with that a little bit in warm-ups today.
And for these exhibitions, how helpful is it to get those opportunities to, you know, it's one thing to practice these in practice, but to have that kind of atmosphere where there's not as much pressure because it doesn't count,
Right.
but you still get to have that experience of competing in a Big Ten match.
Right. There's a lot of added pressure when you take it into a competition, and you know, I think especially it's helpful for freshmen who maybe aren't as used to competing in front of really large crowds. So kind of just gives them the opportunity to get out there and showcase what they've been working on in practice.
Jordan Givens up next here on the uneven parallel bars as Illinois' exhibition gymnast.
Next up on bars for Illinois, Jordan Givens.
Good finger for her there. Failed a handstand. Good fight with that handstand. Brought it back. Just a small step on the landing. Good job for Jordan.
Good way to end it there. Gets her experience there in the exhibition play as we head to our third rotation between Illinois and Iowa. First 2 done pretty quick here. It will be Iowa on floor exercises, Illinois on the beam. You're watching Women's Big Ten Gymnastics on Big Ten Network's Student U. Welcome back into Huff Hall. Joey going alongside Jacqueline Weiss. For more between the Illini and the Hawkeyes in this gymnastics matchup, we send it over to the sideline. Cassie Carlson has more. Cassie.
Thanks, guys. Well, we're seeing a tight matchup right here, right now. But one thing to note is that Iowa's Johanny Satillo beat her personal records on the uneven bars with a 9.900, and also Lizzie LeDuc also got her career high on the uneven bars. Looking to see if people set more records today. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cassie, for that update. We're going to get you scores here from the first two rotation totals. As we look through here, Illinois 97.425, Iowa 98.125. So Iowa taking the lead into the third rotation here. And for you, Jacqueline, what was the biggest takeaway from that first rotation for these first and second rotation for these two teams?
Well, you know, I think Iowa's off to a really strong start. Illinois maybe had their two weaker events first, but beam and floor for them are really strong. So they might have a little catching up to do, but I think they can do it.
And when we look to these things here, you know, we see Sarah Lyons here on uneven parallel bars. Her only event, and we see a couple of lineup shuffling, and that has to be due to the injury of Mary Jane Horth. And just, we got a little bit of information before. She's still injured. They haven't really decided on what to call it. They're still calling it lower body. So that's going to be a big factor. We'll get to her more as we go on. Looking at Illinois here, as you see the scores from bars, Sarah Lyon, 9.8, Bridget Hoden, 9.550, Lizzie LeDuc, 9.825, O'Connor, 9.825, 9.525, for Sunny Cato, Aaron Buchanan, 9.80. So there are the scores there for the bars for the Fighting Illini in this one. Again, the Think Pink meet here in Huff Hall, all in an effort to raise awareness for breast cancer and honoring those breast cancer survivors and families here today in Huff. Youth Clinic after the meet today. You see Illinois in pink uniforms. All around great effort here by the Illini, Big Ten and gymnastics really onto that. We'll get to more of that as well. Looking at the vault here, scores with a 9.7 there as a leadoff for Missy Jade Carlson, Molly Drenth 9.80, Glover 9.825, 9.750 for Metcalf, Ortiz 9.750, Pierkowski 9.875. Here's Bridget Hoden, as you see, bar score 9.550 as she is about to take her turn here on what seems to be her chance at this beam here, as we're still awaiting the official start of this one.
Good fight for Bridget on that series. It was an aerial to back handspring. A unique series, don't see that one too often. Bridget's proved to be a strong leadoff for the Illini on an event that they really have a lot of depth in.
Highest score for her this year at Rutgers. Seems to be a trend with Illinois against Rutgers, 9.800, finished second in that one.
You saw that illusion there. Again, another unique skill for beam. She does it very well. And finishes it up with a cartwheel, gainer full. A little unsure of that landing there, but good fight from Bridget.
And going back to Mary Jane Horth here, I know we were talking a little bit about it before we went to run down those scores. Wanted to make sure we got those to you guys watching. But just how big of a loss is that for this Illinois team that, you know, she's really one of the cornerstones here, not able to compete?
Right, you could always count on MJ to go ahead and put up a big score, really on all the events. But, you know, I think it's a really talented group of girls, so they just have to kind of come together as a team to fill that void. And the freshmen and sophomores have their upperclassmen to look to kind of set the example for them. And as we go to floor, nice opening with a double pike there.
This is Savannah Borman, 9.775, her season best, a little earlier in January. Also a freshman here for Iowa.
Double tuck there. Feet a little apart on her leap series. Floor is the fun event where you get to let your personality show through.
And that's what's so cool and so much fun about women's gymnastics from what I've watched is just, like you said, the personality that comes out, you're really able to express yourself, and as much as the passes are the things you're being judged on, it's all about that extra influence and an extra excitement you can bring to the gym here, and then usually these gymnasts really don't fail to do that.
Sure, and artistry is something too that the judges are going to be looking for.
Buchanan here now will take her chance at the beam. Buchanan last time out, 9.675 at Minnesota.
Good layout, step out. Just getting ready for her series here. Back handspring layout, step out. Not quite able to bring that one back. That is going to be a 5/10 deduction for the fall.
We saw that with O'Connor too here on the uneven parallel bars.
Step forward on the dismount. So she's going to look to her teammates to kind of back her up here.
And that's where you go back as Lane Snyder checks in here for floor exercises. But that's where you go back and remember it is a team game.
It sure is.
9.8 for Snyder here on bars as she takes her chance at floor exercises.
I think she was in bounds on that.
Looked really close there. We'll have to see if they catch that.
Her teammate before her did go out, so that's a 10th if you do go out of bounds. Iowa has some really fun choreography. Really draws in the audience, kind of grabs their attention. You'll see she's kind of engaging with her teammates and the judges. Teammates dancing on the sidelines.
That's what I was going to say. It's one thing for your teammates to cheer you on, and that's always the excitement in the gym. But for her, they're used. They're almost her backup floor exercise dancers.
Her backup dancers.
Yeah. And what really goes into choosing the music you would choose? Do you come up with your routines first and then you pick a music that fits your style, or is it really just can be your favorite song that really can get you in the moment to get you going?
Yeah, definitely. You can just really whatever your personal flair is, you know, if you have, like you said, if you have a favorite song, it's kind of whatever your own style is, you're able to pick that, and they kind of from there then choreograph the routine.
Jenna O'Connor here on the vault. 9.750 was her score. Bars is next one up for her. After that, beam is where she is at now.
Looking to bring it back after the fall.
Yeah, O'Connor's score on those bars, apologize, 9.825. O'Connor, the 5'2" senior all-arounder here for Illinois, Streamwood, Illinois native. Has won all-around twice this season against Missouri and Rutgers, posting a 39.275, 39.325 in those two matchups.
She certainly doesn't hold back on beam either. I think that's one of the things with beam. You got to go big or go home.
Right. You got to leave that lasting impression.
Just her dismount left here. Stuck landing. Way to bring it back.
Great finish for her there as she tries to get Illinois back in this one. They were down when we started this third rotation, so if they can make up some ground here, could see them cutting it close. Again, those scores after the first two rotations, 98.125 for Iowa to Illinois' 97.42. Zarowski checks in here on the floor exercises. Her best this year, 9.875, just last week against Nebraska, that big upset for this Iowa Hawkeyes team.
Strong start with her double pike.
Got a couple scores, 9.650 here for Borman on the floor. Beam scores Buchanan 9.175 and Hoda 9.550 on the beam.
She's having fun with this. Kind of giving herself a bit of rest here as she gets ready for her last pass. Ending with what's called a Rudy. Little pike down on that. Overall, very good routine.
Next up on balance beam for Illinois, Heather Foley.
Heather Foley here is up next on the beam for Illinois. Hasn't competed yet this year on the beam. So a first for her. We saw Lyons there on the uneven pillar bars for her. Heather Foley now taking her first crack at the beam this year.
She certainly competed in lineup before, so she's very comfortable with the event.
Yeah, career high for a 9.850 on the beam. So done it well. Just hasn't had that chance yet until today in Big Ten play.
She's off to a solid start. Nice sheep jump there. Fights to stay on. Looking to save every 10th here. Stuck landing.
Nice stuck landing there for Heather Foley. Again, Illinois trying to climb back in this one. Was down after the first two rotations.
Haven't really heard the crowd doing the whole Illinois stuck landing that they were practicing before the meet.
Yeah, hopefully they can get into that and keep this crowd getting some support here for their lineup. But yeah, all pregame when we're trying to do our open and do all these different things, stuck dismount was echoing throughout the gym. And when the meet begins, for some reason they don't do it. But maybe we'll pass a note along and get us more that sound in the background here as we take a look at our next competitor here. Angel Metcalf is up for Iowa on floor exercises. Get some more scores here for you. Lainey Snyder for Iowa on the floor exercises, 9.70. Zarowski 9.825, Borman 9.650. Illinois' updated stats here. Buchanan on the beam 9.175, 9.550 for Hoden, 9.750 for Gianna O'Connor.
Very unique choreography.
And is the choreography between passes worked on in practice in terms of tips and advice, or is it just, I'm an awesome dancer, then let me do my thing?
No, it sure is. I mean, when they practice routines in the gym, they're paying just as much attention to detail in the choreography as they are in eliminating deductions from their tumbling passes and their leap passes. So.
Metcalf finishes a fun one there for Iowa on floor exercises. As we move along, back to Illinois, Lizzie LeDuc checks in.
Next up on the beam for Illinois, Lizzie LeDuc.
Lizzie LeDuc, another all-arounder here, and a young one, freshman for this Illinois team. Looking at her beam scores, 9.900, best one against Penn State.
And a very solid start from her. I would say beam is definitely one of her stronger events. Nice anoti, another skill that's not as common in college gymnastics anyways.
Fighting a way to stay on there.
Jump. Yeah. Little off balance there, but good fight. And a stuck landing on her round off 1.5 dismount.
Very nice finish for her there, and we roll back around to Molly Drenth. 9.80 on bars, 9.80 on vault. See if she can continue that success here on floor exercises. And, you know, I hate to be that broken record, but she is the one gymnast that we knew was going to be dangerous in this matchup, especially just the way she's competed for Iowa all year. And I think she's proven that today.
Nice open with her double pike. It's a handspring Rudy. So that is a front flip with 1.5 twists. Finishes with a round off 1.5 to front layout. Very clean. I think that one's going to be a big score.
Yeah, probably a big score there for her. Gets a lot of praise from her teammates as she was extremely clean on that one, and shows you why she's one of these gymnasts to watch in Big Ten play.
Next up on the meet for Illinois, Sunny Cato.
Sunny in the anchor spot.
Couple scores here for Beam as we'll run through them for you again. Buchanan for Illinois, 9.175. Foley, 9.725. Houghton at 9.550. Gianna O'Connor, a 9.750.
Little balance checks here and there for Sunny. Good finish, and they'll get to drop that score and not have to count a fall.
Allie Glover is next up here for Iowa on the floor. Her competition today, only the vault, 9.825.
Next up on the floor for Iowa, Allie Glover.
Glover, the senior from Destin, Florida. Season best floor exercise, 9.900 on Jan 23rd. See if she can emulate that here against Illinois. That Nebraska matchup we kept talking about, a 9.875 for her in that upset win over the number 14 team in the country.
A lot of height on her first pass.
You saw Larissa Libby there, head coach of Iowa, cheering on the team, and that's what is also cool too. Even the coach can get involved in helping these gymnasts do their floor exercise and be a part of this great routine. Libby, 12th year as head coach at Iowa, 16th year overall with the program. NCAA Regionals competition marking their program's 7th berth to the postseason in 8 years. That was last year, and really just embodies success in Big Ten gymnastics.
Saw her stick that last pass. Usually you'll see the gymnast kind of lunge out of it and finish, so that was impressive to see.
A good end for her there on the floor exercises. Brielle Wynn checks in here. These are going to be the exhibition gymnasts here. It'll be Wynn for the Illini, Edlin here for Iowa. And for Wynn or for anyone else here, what's kind of that big takeaway that you want to have from doing these exhibitions? I know we talked about it, get you that experience, but is there one little thing that is it the nerves are the big thing to get past? Is it this little intricacy based on the apparatus that you want to make sure you take away? What is the one thing that usually you guys would really want to get from exhibition?
You know, I think it's different for each person, kind of based on what they're working through and what maybe their personal struggles and goals are. But I think it's definitely just good to go out and get one under your belt, kind of get that boost in confidence and know that you've done it. You've been out there. You've been in front of the crowd.
And for Wynn, especially a freshman all around her, gets that ability to really have that opportunity to show what she can do. And when she fights for a spot down the road in her career here at Illinois, you kind of look back to these, and while they may not seem so important right now, they could prove something to really how big of a contributor you can be down the stretch.
Absolutely.
Ashley Edlin here for Iowa on the floor exercises. She's their exhibition competitor. Edlin yet to compete officially this year in floor exercises. Season best for her in the balance beam, 9.725, so has had some success for her this year, but has not seen floor exercises in official competition, so there's a good chance for her again to get out there, see what she can do on this part of the apparatuses in gymnastics.
You can tell she's having a blast out there.
Ellie Glover, 9.875 for her last time. Get some scores back from the floor exercises. A good finish there for her. As we are done with that third rotation, we see a couple of replays here of what stood out. Molly Drenth obviously there. Good finish here for Illinois on that stuck dismount off the beam. And just an overall pretty clean third rotation. And that will do it for us here in this third rotation. We will be coming up next with the fourth one. Iowa on beam, Illinois heads to the floor. You're watching Big Ten Women's Gymnastics on Big Ten Network's Student U. Welcome back into Huff Hall. Joey Gilman alongside Jacqueline Wiest. We're here at Illini taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes in this gymnastics matchup. Before we get you scores from that third rotation, we're going to toss it to the sideline. Cassie Carlson has more on this one. Cassie.
Well, Iowa looks really confident right now going into this last rotation. They're on beam next. But they also, in Illinois, they have two powerhouses, Lizzie LeDuc and Gianna O'Connor, are both strong on the floor exercise, looking to give some spunk to this team right now. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cassie, for that update here. Again, it's that fourth rotation and final rotation in this one between the Illini and the Hawkeyes. Look at Iowa's floor results here. Borman, 9.650, Snyder, 9.7. Zarowski, 9.825, Metcalf, 9.8, Drenth, 9.825, and Glover, 9.875. So that was their floor results from that third rotation. We'll look at Illinois' results here. Beam results. Hoden, 9.550, Buchanan, 9.175, O'Connor, 9.750, Foley, 9.725, Lizzie LeDuc, as Cassie just mentioned, 9.775. Sunny Cato, 9.825. So overall through this one, as you can see here on the screen, Iowa clinging to that 147.150 lead over the Illini's 146.050. And, you know, Iowa still, even though Illinois is the higher ranking nationally, Iowa proving why they're still a top at least 30 team in this country. And we saw, at least on Illinois on beam, a little bit of some issues. And we pretty clean overall, but again, a couple of those falls and a few, let's say maybe it's an end touch on that non-stuck dismount on a balance, excuse me, on the uneven bars, or on the beam here, a couple of falls. It's kind of cost them where they're really trying to climb back in.
Right. Well, they have a lot of really good performances. It is those
Absolutely.
little things that do add up. And so, as you can kind of see now by the standings, they do have their work cut out for them. Probably not going to quite catch the Hawkeyes in this last event, but anything can happen.
Absolutely. We're still in the touch period here, which will just be ending shortly here. Again, Iowa moves to the beam. Illinois to the floor exercises. And we see what Illinois has to offer on their creative side here, as floor exercise, one of the most fun parts, at least from a fan's perspective, I would think, watching from the naked eye gymnastics, that's for sure. Again, total scores, 147.150 for Iowa, 146.050 through three rotations here as we enter the fourth and final rotation between Illinois and Iowa. Balance beam again begins here with Savannah Borman. She will be the first competitor on this one. And we talked about, you know, the coaching matches here, and Larissa Libby, obviously an incredible coach for Iowa, as we see a little finishing touches here on the beam. But for her, Canadian gymnast, burst on the scene at 11, junior national champion, senior national champion, member of the Canadian World Champion teams, Olympian, 30 overall international titles, Canadian Gymnast of the Year, 89 and 90. So, I mean, I know it just sounds like I'm reading a bunch of stats, but it just shows you how incredible she really is as she stands in front of us here at the broadcast booth, but really able to, you know, solidify herself in gymnastics history and proving what she's learned here against Illinois here, trying to make sure this Iowa team comes back and can get a big Big Ten win here on the road.
Iowa undefeated so far in the Big Ten, looking to keep it that way.
Starting on floor for Illinois, Heather Foley.
Heather Foley begins things here for Illinois, but then you look at that Iowa team and Big Ten wins over at number 25 Ohio State, number 14 Nebraska last week out. And so you're just getting big-time performances when needed. And so you see that national number at 28. Slowly but surely, this team is solidifying themselves. You know, and that conference record speaks huge. 5-3 overall. The Illinois is 2-3. So while those national rankings are nice to start off in those non-conference competitions, the Big Ten's really where you can separate yourself. And Iowa coming back here to solidify their spot in the Big Ten, where Illinois hasn't really found that groove yet.
And right now, rankings are based off of your average, and this week I think we might see a little bit of shuffling in that as it switches to your regional qualifying score. Heather's off to a good start in her floor routine here. Ending with the Rudy. Overall, very clean routine.
Very clean start, as you mentioned, for Illinois, trying to make sure they get back on track here, trying to fight their way. A tough hill to climb, but anything can happen, as you mentioned. Edlin checks in here for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Solid back handspring layout from her.
Edlin on the beam, 9.725. This year, as I mentioned before, on that January 23rd matchup, junior Tennessee native Ashley Edlin.
Seeing a few balance checks from her. Doesn't quite look as sure of herself. Big step forward there, but team like that one.
Yeah, we'll see if that counts against her as we move along here. It'll be Brielle Wynn for the Illini, the freshman, getting a lot of action today. Again, as we mentioned, Mary Jane North out with a lower body injury, and so Illinois trying to find ways to really fill that void, which is a big void.
See Brielle stepping it up here. She's got a fun routine. She has a very bubbly personality. Always looks like she's having a blast.
And that's what you really want to see, just have that personality come out in full form here on the floor exercises.
Opens with a double pike. A little low on that landing. Her teammates cheering her on to the finish here. 1.5 layout.
Good routine there for her. As we hear back, Heather Foley's 9.725. That's her floor exercise score. Borman, 9.725 on the beam. Edlin, 9.50 for the Hawkeyes on her last attempt on the beam. As Joanny Sotillo steps in here for the Hawkeyes. Seen her in a couple of apparatuses here today.
Very solid start on her series. Looking very confident in her routine.
And, you know, we saw before her with Edlin, not as confident, and that's probably a really big factor here is you got to make sure you know your routine and then can really demonstrate it for the judges in a confident fashion.
I think beam 2, the more reserved you are, the more you leave room for error, or it's easier to make an error, so you really have to go into it and go full force. It was a very solid routine from her. Even stuck the landing.
Bridget Hoden checks in here. Bars and beam were her two first competitions. Now she checks in at floor exercises.
Opening with a double full. Little off on her leap series there. A nice Rudy, back layout, step out. Now we saw her doing an illusion on beam, and here she does 2 in a row and does them very nicely. Ending with the Rudy for an overall good routine.
Great job there by Hoden on the floor exercises as we're rolling through here. Angel Metcalf is the next one up for Iowa. She takes her turn at the beam. Borman again, that 9.725 on the beam. Ashley Edlin, now we get her score 9.5 for her. Flores Foley and Wynn, the only ones up, 9.725. That's a final for her, 9.700 for Wynn.
Small balance check, but that's a difficult series. Iowa's killing it with the stuck landings today.
Really key for them, and that's when you hark back to those fundamentals, and you can, have these incredible routines, but if you can't stick that dismount, it's going to cost you. And you're seeing here Iowa really in the zone, able to finish these off well.
That stick is what seals the deal.
Buchanan up here, all around her for Illinois. She takes her turn at the floor exercises. And, we talked about Coach Libby with Iowa, and with Kim Landris here for Illinois, I kind of want to get your take on how she's really made this program what it is, and for her, been here forever it seems, 14 years with the program, 5th year as the head coach, record-setting season for them last year, named NCAA South Central Regional Head Coach of the Year. So, from your perspective, I know maybe a little biased, but kind of what did you see from her, and what has she really embodied for this Illinois team?
Well, like I said earlier, she has a philosophy, it's all about clean and consistent gymnastics, and so I think that has really shown in Illinois' performances, and as they've kind of climbed in the rankings over the years that she's been here. And she's very much, it's all about the journey. It's not always the end result. It's just, it's about the process and getting there. So I think that's evident in the team's success.
Metcalf, 9.875, her score there on the beam. But the focus, Erin Buchanan now for Illinois on the floor.
Crowd's loving it.
And that's what's so fun, and you make sure, obviously you want your song and your routine, but boy, if you can get one that can really get the crowd involved, they're going to be on your side for a long time here, and especially in a meet like this where you're trying to come back. And you need all the support you can get.
There's a lot of young girls here today, and just a lot of young kids in general as they're having the kids clinic, and it's nice because these girls are really role models for the young gymnasts and children in the community, and so they have their support, and then they have the opportunity to give back to them too today as they spend some time with them for the clinic.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think of college athletics, whether it's Iowa and Illinois, you see the headline is football, it's basketball, and then you come in a place like Huff Hall today and see the gym packed with community members and families where these gymnasts are the biggest all-stars and role models, like you said, for these girls in the crowd. And I mean, the cheers we had for when the starting lineups were introduced for both teams is just, it shows you that while, maybe women's gymnastics isn't grabbing every headline, it is so vitally important for a lot of young gymnasts really just trying to make it and to continue. And what great way to do that and learn than from watching Big Ten gymnastics with girls like these.
Absolutely. The girls on the team here are all very involved in the community too, so they have a lot of support. That was a phenomenal routine from Molly there.
Yeah, no surprise from her, as she's proven once again why she is one of the top Big Ten gymnasts in the conference. A really, really clean and well done routine, and she gets a big hug from head coach Larissa Libby on Iowa. Lizzie LeDuc is next up for these floor exercises for Illinois. All around her, vault, bars, and beam are already done. This is the fourth rotation here. Again, Illinois is on floor, Iowa on the beam. It was reversed in that third rotation, but this is that fourth and final one as Illinois tries to climb back in to this gymnastics meet here. Again, it's a Think Pink meet here. Almost everyone in the crowd, and including ourselves and staff, in pink as part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Initially, you know, always in October. Volleyball team in Illinois and all across the country does a great job with that. But this one, as Cassie mentioned, Kid Hosiclone with University of Georgia as their player back in 1991, 2002. Her career there at Georgia was a little more heartfelt as she had to battle breast cancer there. Tyla Vexler was the gymnast fighting that fight, and still has, and is still continuing to preach the awareness and resilience here for women all around, you know, the nation, and what a great way to do it through gymnastics.
As he ends with the Rudy, just a little low on that. But our team loved it, crowd loved it. They're looking to finish off strong.
Allie Glover is next up here for the University of Iowa. Again, this is the final couple of competitors here. We're in that fourth rotation. It's the Illini and the Hawkeyes on Big Ten Network's Student U. But Glover is up here for the Hawkeyes. We'll run down some scores for you on the floor for Illinois. 9.875 Buchanan, 9.725 Foley, 9.700 Houghton, 9.700 Wynn. Back to the beam, which is what we're on now for Iowa. 9.875 Metcalf, 9.875 for Marley Drenf, 9.850 Sotillo, 9.725 Borman, 9.50 Ashley Edlin. A couple all-arounds coming in. 39.200 Metcalf finishes the day with that. 39.300 Molly Drenf for Iowa. That is her final all-around score.
Nice punch front from her. Very clean leap series. Not leaving a lot of room for the judges to take deductions. And another stuck landing.
Incredible consistency here from Iowa, and we've talked about that all broadcast. You've got to get consistent early in your routines, and it can, you know, have a trickle effect for the rest of the gymnasts competing. And we've seen from Iowa, at least in the beam particularly, really able to have those stuck dismounts, and it's really proved dividends for them as they continue to rack up the points here. O'Connor's up next here for Illinois, and all-arounder herself as well, the senior. Really having to take on, you know, the leadership role here with this Illinois squad. You know, when you think of Illinois, it was always Amber C. is kind of what you heard the last couple of years. And a broadcaster herself as well.
Yep.
But O'Connor now able to take center stage here and take on that senior role for sure here for Illinois.
She's really stepped up to the plate.
We'll see what her routine calls for here. Always a lot of personality coming from her. And did you see that earlier UCLA gymnast this week with her routine?
I did.
Sofina De Jesus on UCLA, and nearly perfect 9.925, and went viral as quick as it could with her routine and just really embodied who she was and captured at least 99% of that audience, which is how much fun she had, and it was. So a really cool moment for her, and just shows that how much fun you can really have with these floor exercises for gymnastics, and able to make that one go viral. And that's just what I think is kind of fun, is you have those kind of things go viral. You look to Illinois, and they're having a lip-sync battle with all of their gymnasts.
Yep.
Choosing whatever song they choose, whether that's Justin Bieber, Sorry, and the list goes on. But you just really get personality, and when you always, talk about sports, it's very serious. And while gymnastics, and you can attest to it, is, extremely serious in the preparation and how you need to compete, and the fierceness that goes into that is for sure there. But really able to also embody the fun and creativity that the sport allows you to have.
It is. It's a very unique sport. It's really like no other.
Next up on balance beam for Iowa, Nicole Chow.
Final two competitors here in this fourth rotation. Nicole Chow checks in here for an exhibition opportunity on the balance beam. A good opportunity for her to get some experience. Her first appearance today for the Hawkeyes. It'll be Jordan Givens on the other end for Illinois on the floor exercises. She'll be their exhibition competitor.
Now she did a 2-foot layout on her series there that we haven't seen yet tonight. Aerial cartwheel. Same dismount we saw Sunny Cato do. It was just a small hop on the landing. My mind goes back to, you mentioned the lip sync battle, and I just have to give a shout out to both Heather and MJ for their wrecking ball. That was a personal favorite of mine.
A lot of fun with that. You sometimes can't get athletes to have that side to them, and gymnastics embodies that, and they ran with it for sure. Yeah, wrecking ball was one of the top ones there too.
Well, and it's nice too because it gives fans the opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more about the girls and their personalities.
Jordan Givens checks in here. She's going to be the exhibition floor exercise gymnast and final one in this meet between Illini and the Hawkeyes, as she tries to get her routine down and make sure she's able to really own in her skills here and try to crack an official lineup here. But why not have an opportunity on exhibition? It gets the whole team involved and begins here.
Nice double tuck. Well, see, she only has 2 passes. It's really, we most commonly see 3, but it's not required. She's able to add in enough of the bonus elements to only do 2 passes. One last jump combination, and she wraps it up with a little Beyonce tonight.
That's the only way to finish out that meet. So that is the end of that fourth rotation here, Illinois and Iowa, in the matchup today. And we are going to take a quick break here before we get to the final team results. But it's been a fun one and a pretty close one between the Hawkeyes and the Illini. You're watching Big Ten Women's Gymnastics on Big Ten Network. Student U up next, the final results. Welcome back into Huff Hall. Joey going alongside Jacqueline Wiest. We are still awaiting the results in this one between Illinois and Iowa. We'll show you a couple of replays here. Illinois in the vault. That was their first routine and apparatus of the day. Here's them on the uneven bars. And all around, Jacqueline, a pretty good day for Illinois, but there were little key points where there was a fall here or a knee touch there that really separated these two teams.
Right. I think like you said, a lot of good things, a lot of things to be proud of, but a lot to go take back to the gym this week to prepare for next weekend. You know, the skills are there, the gymnastics is there, they just have a little more fine-tuning to do and get to the point where they can put those routines up without giving those little deductions away here and there.
And that fine-tuning almost sometimes comes back to those fundamentals that we talked about that head coach Landress loves to emphasize. And so, well, she may not want to emphasize it in this scenario, it's another opportunity to make sure Illinois can get back on track as they, you know, finish out Big Ten play here through March. Looking at their upcoming schedule, Michigan State, Iowa State, Lindenwood, Illinois Classic, Big Five meet. So still a couple opportunities for Illinois to get back on track. And when I say get back on track, I mean they're a ranked team. It's just a matter of Big Ten play has really been a tough go for them. So we'll look to see how they continue as we still await the scores here. And for Iowa, 28th in the country, and they seem to be a lot better than kind of their ranking showed, and we look at their schedule here. A couple of matchups here at Iowa State, so Illinois and Iowa both play them down the stretch. But Iowa on that beam really showed you how structured and fine-tuned they really are, and we saw that from Drenth too.
Absolutely. I think overall, in at least the past couple of years, you know, Iowa hasn't been as strong of a team, but, you know, I think they have it in their minds that this is their comeback year, and they're off to a great start, still undefeated in the Big Ten.
Sarah Lyons.
We're seeing here a couple of gymnasts come back out and toss T-shirts as they were the top scorers in a couple of their different categories, 9.8 and above, as the Duke comes here and throws out a T-shirt. But we saw, at least on the beam, and I know, you know, we kind of mentioned with Drenth, and I know she's not the only gymnast on this Iowa team, but she really showed you today what she is capable of, and really, I think, you know, proved to a lot of people that this Iowa team is for real, and she's really one of the anchors for these Hawkeyes as they go down the stretch here. You know, depending on what the final score is, Iowa was in the lead at the end of that third rotation, so they could improve to 6-3 in the conference. Illinois would be 2-4 in the conference, so kind of a disparity there that really tells the tale of how the end of the season can really go.
It's definitely not over.
Go for it.
Thanks if you're participating in today's
Kids Clinic coming up next here for the fans in the audience today, as we still await a couple of final results here, still trickling in. As remember those scores on that third rotation, 147.150 for Iowa, 146.050 for Illinois.
Okay, fans, please direct your attention to the floor.
What we're going to do here is take a quick break as we still await those final scores. So it's the Illini and the Hawkeyes. Recap for a little bit how this meet went, and then we'll get you those final scores next. It's Big Ten's Women's Gymnastics on Big Ten Network's Student U. Welcome back into Huff Hall. Joey going alongside Jacqueline Weiss. We're still awaiting the awards ceremony here in Huff Hall. It was the Illini taking on the Hawkeyes, as we're getting some of the scores in now for some of the individual rounds, and from a couple of the
winners on vault with a score of 9.875.
we'll take you here. We'll take you live PA here. We can listen to a little bit of Pierkowski, as she's one of the all-around winners here for today's meet on bars.
From Iowa, Joanne Sotillo.
Sotillo, the next winner here on uneven bars.
On balance beam with a score of 9.875 from Iowa, Angel Metcalf.
Nice 9.875. Round of applause for Angel Metcalf there on the beam.
9.875 from Illinois, Aaron Buchanan.
Aaron Buchanan, nice round of applause here, recognized by the fans as a bunch of them cheering on the sideline.
With a score of 195.125, the University of Illinois.
You hear the final scores here. A winner for Iowa, it's 196.275, 196.275 the final for Iowa, 195.125 for Illinois. As you see the breakdown here between the four rotations, the teams say their thanks and goodbye for a great tournament. And Jacqueline, before we go, what's the biggest takeaway for you from this matchup between Illinois and Iowa?
Well, you know, I think just you got to recognize the good and then realize where there's room for improvement. So, you know, both teams are going to be going back into the gym this week, looking to fix any errors that they may have had, and Illinois especially going to be looking to do a little more fine-tuning and kind of close that gap on Iowa when they meet in the future.
Yeah, a couple of little gaps here for Illinois, trying to get their way back up those standings in Big Ten. Again, 196.275 for Iowa, 195.125 Iowa. The winners here today in Champaign. For Jacqueline Wiest, I'm Joey Gelman. Thank you for tuning in. It's been Big Ten Women's Gymnastics on the Big Ten Network's Student U.